Greetings, YouTube. This is the camera rig I made recently, and it's working quite well. Obviously, there's no camera on the rig. I've got it in my hand. However, I've encountered a problem. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a distinct shadow here caused by the rig itself, because the best lighting in the room is directly under my ceiling light. Now, I can move the table off to the left, and I get no shadow, but I get less light. I can move it to the right, but that gives me less shadow, but it also gives me the vagaries of natural light, which is kind of a pain. So, I acquired some of these, which was a 36-inch piece. I've cut off two pieces that are the same length as this right here, and I've acquired a set of LED Christmas lights. Now, why have I done this? Well, my original plan was to strap two strip lights here, zip tie them in place, point them at an angle, approximately aimed here, so that I can then get some nice, even light. Because we have a nice unit underneath my cabinet in the kitchen, LED, lots of light, convenient. It's physically light, doesn't weigh much. But we must have gotten it at a really good price because we paid like 20 bucks for it. But it's too long, so I can't even take it off there and use it. It just doesn't conveniently fit in this space. It's 18 inches long, and this is just about 16 here. I actually don't know what the length is. I just kind of put the piece of metal on there and marked it. But the problem is that all the units I've found at hardware stores that fit my space, so they're about 12 inches long, are in the $30 to $50 range a piece, and I really need two of them, and that's way too much for me to spend on this. And all the batteried ones, well, they're batteries, and I don't want to have to replace battery. I want something I can plug into my wall, which is conveniently over there to my right. So I decided I'm going to make my own. So this is a set of 60 LED lights. So my goal here is to take a bunch of zip ties, and actually let me come around here and grab the zip ties. I should have gotten out already for you, sorry. This is this package of the smallest zip ties I could find, which are 4 inches long, and there's 100 of them. And this cost me $5, and this bar, less than $5, was like $4.80. This is like $4.60 or $4.80 for that, and this was $1. So for less than $11, I will hopefully have a lighting system that I can put half of it on this side, half of it on this side, bridging the gap with just a length of the wire between two lights. So I'm going to try to cram 30 lights in this section, zip tying them alternately from here and here, all the way down. I'm trying to cram as many as I can in that space, and then strapping the entire thing with zip ties to the PVC pipe itself at an angle, probably about a 45-degree angle or so, maybe a little less, aimed at the center of the table, and hopefully that will give me the light I need. So I've already cut the pieces, handy dandy hacksaw, my work gloves because I'm safe. I used my file to knock off all the edges so there's no burrs there. This piece is left over. I'll find a use for it probably. So, who knows? It's got 3 holes. Might use it for a mounting bracket or something like that. And I'd show you the clamp I'm using, but my wife's using it because she's doing a project in the kitchen. She's working on her Halloween costume. So that's the next thing to do, is to clear myself some space, put a few tools away that I don't need, and then start zip tying lights on here. Yay. Alrighty, we're at the halfway mark. I have 28 of the lights tied down here on this side. These are doubles, these two are singles, and that should give me enough space, I think, to get to the next one. I may have to do a single on the first one, on the other one I'm not sure. We'll see. If I want this balance, because it's going to be fairly even. Trying to get enough space so this will be the areas I actually zip tie the unit to the bar here. But I'm just using these little zip ties, and then the bottom looks like that. You can see my reflection, so it looks pretty neat and tidy on the bottom, so it should sit pretty good on that bar when I'm finished. The piece of PVC piping, I should say. And they're all facing towards me, because when it's this, it'll be going this way. When I'm done, it'll be facing that way. So while I'm working on it, I need it facing me. This is a little shorter than I thought it was, so I'm going to have to get myself an extension cord. I think I got one kicking around in the garage I'm not using for anything. I may use that, so we'll see. So now it's to unbundle this section and to continue. I checked this before I started, and all the lights did in fact work. And I have a couple extra bulbs and a couple extra fuses. And I think these things here, right here, are the fuses. I'm not positive. So that's what they would be if I were to design this thing. So that's what I think they are. And again, for $1, can't really go wrong. So next up, more zip tying. All right, there we have the completed mounting. So all the lights are now in place, and I've tied that plug down so it's not going to flop around and be in my way. And now it's going to be a matter of getting this zip tied onto the tubing right here to my satisfaction. So I need to bring out some bigger zip ties. The ones I've got right now, these little dinky ones, are just not going to cut it, but they were perfect for this. They're just nice and light. They were easy to bend, get through the, get around all the wires and such. And I really didn't need more than that. It would have been a waste to use longer zip ties. So nice getting 100 pack for like $4.80 or something like that. That was nice. So, like I said, next up is going to be tying this to the pole. Alrighty, so here we have the final mounting. I put some duct tape on this so that the metal would have something to bite into a little, so it would be less likely to turn. I put zip ties at either end and one in the middle to help support it. And I am getting some nice flood on this. Unfortunately, the optimum range is here and not there, but it is more light than I had. So now I'm going to mount the camera and take a couple of clips with and without the light, and we'll see how it looks. Alrighty, this is without the lights, and I have some natural lighting coming from the right, and obviously the shadow is to the left. Now we'll see it with the light. So we get some additional light off and on, off and on. And I actually quite like the white I'm getting. I'm still probably going to need some more lighting in here, and I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to achieve it. But this is giving me a good, particularly when I'm going to have no light coming from outside, because if I'm filming in the night or in inclement weather, this is definitely going to help give me some more flood when I'm looking at objects. You know, I'm showing something off on the camera. This will help. It isn't going to be perfect. You always need more light than you think you do. It's the one thing I've learned in filmmaking. You always need more light than you think you do. So I'm going to probably have to come up with some additional lighting options. But I have a place to plug them in at least. So maybe I want to get like a clip light. Something I can clip onto the mount here that shines straight down. I've got one on my desk, pardon me, now that I use when I do my filming on my video camera, my webcam, but I don't want taking that on and off would be a pain in the butt. It's plugged into the power strip behind my desk. So I'm going to need another one so I can shoot straight down with more light. But I think this was still a worthwhile project. I don't think it was a waste of my time. And for $11 investment, or a little more, ironically, I had to go buy more cable ties. I didn't have any large cable ties. I got this huge bag of little cable ties, but I didn't have any large ones, so I had to go buy some more of those today, which isn't a bad thing. It was weird. It was a choice. I could buy 10 or I could buy 100. So, you know, buying 100 they were 10 cents a piece. So I bought 100. If I only bought 10, it would be 20 cents a piece. It didn't really seem like a good deal. So there you have it, folks. My new lighting rig. I think it's going to help me. It definitely doesn't hurt. But I just think I need to get some more lighting. Some lighting that I can put, like here's my hand. I really need the lighting to come this way, ideally this way, and a focus to mount. So I can get boom, boom. So that's the next project, I guess. It's a pain in the butt. But you always need more light than you think you do. Greetings, YouTube. We are now into the next stage of lighting, because I've taken it one step further. I'm still using the Christmas lights because it gives me a nice even flood across the table, but I've added 2 lights. Now this light here I picked up at a yard sale for $1. And this I picked up at a yard sale a couple of years ago for $2. And I'm running them off a 3-way splitter because I was actually concerned about using this plug from the lights at all, one of these style plugs. I know I'm just using LEDs, but I was concerned about the load, so I just split it off and put it one through one. And these are all LED bulbs, so they're probably not drawing a lot of power. In fact, the 2 bulbs I am using are these Philips Slim Style LEDs. They're flat. They're actually physically flat. They're little, which is kind of cool. These are equivalent to 60 watts. They pull 10.5 watts. They produce about 360 degrees of light all around. They are 800 lumens, and they have these are dimmable, and these are daylight. They also make ones that are a little more yellow if you like that particular kind of incandescent look. And they have a lifespan of 22.8 years, which is 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I'm never going to be using them that much, so these bulbs are going to effectively last me forever. And at that level, they're going to be about $1.26 per year. So that's kind of cool. And this is what I use to do this particular setup. I have a drill, screwdriver, which I just used as a lever, my awl, scissors, tape, rag, of course, and I'll show what I did. So this is actually 2 of these, which are just eye bolts. And I used them because they would give me a flat surface to work with, and it was very simple. I could just drill 2 holes, screw them right in, and I just used a small bit like this one. And I didn't even use a power drill. I used my hand drill. I love this thing. And I love working with this PVC. It is so friendly to work with. It's so accommodating. Then I just strapped a piece of, and I just duct taped a piece of scrap bar on here from that little piece I had left from this metal bar is now being used there, and that clips that in place, holds it. And then I'm just using this as an anchor because this clip fits on here, but it's a little bit slightly loose, so I put that there. It keeps it from moving. And this clip just wouldn't cut it. It wouldn't grab the tubing. It's too big. So that's why I rigged this up. And again, this is the eye bolts I used. I picked up at a yard sale for like 30 cents, if that. And because I bought a box of them, and I still got like, I don't know, 3 or 4 left. And the light bulbs were the biggest investment here for this particular stage of the operation, which were $9 a piece, I think. But again, they're going to last me a really, really long time. So the next segment I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera on the mount, and then I'm going to mount the camera up here, and then when I show you what it looks like with and without the lights, because I already have the light above me on, and I have natural light coming in from the office window, so you see what it looks like prior to my lighting setup, and then I'll show you what it looks like after I plug it back in. Alright, this is what it looks like without the addition of my new lighting rig. This is the above light, natural light, and behind me I have the light I normally have on to the right side of me when I'm doing videos at my computer. If I turn this one on, I don't think they make a bit of difference. I don't think that made any difference at all. That's the light I turn on to my left when I'm doing videos, so I kind of get some even light on my face. Again, the lighting is not perfect. I'm still working on that. So that's what it looks like here. Now I have the high-tech switching operation of just plugging that cord in and out, because the Christmas lights and the silver light I showed, the one on the right side, don't have switches. The one on the left side does, but that doesn't help me if the other 2 don't. So that's what it looks like without the lights on, and this is what it looks like with the lights on. So it's not perfect, I freely admit this, but I'm getting a lot more work here. And this is the 1 foot length camera rig I've got set up. I'm not using a 2-footer right now, but this is what it looks like when I'm holding an object. So there we go. Gives you an idea. And I think the lighting is a whole lot better than it was. And I'm quite happy with this. And again, this whole thing breaks down. I can just take the lights off, take it apart, throw it in my closet when I'm not using it, and I'm good to go. So I'm really kind of happy with that. It's kind of cool. I may leave this up, to tell you the truth, because I may be doing some videos this week. And at the moment, it's not really in the way. I don't think it is, at least. I'll ask my wife. But there you go, folks. There's the final stage to this point. I don't think I'm going to be making any further adjustments to this in the future, because I think this really does. I mean, this is 150 watts. 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 effectively 120 watts of light on the table. These are both 800 lumens. So I think I'm going to have reached the point where I've got as much light as I can on this topic. Now I think I may want to put some filters on here, maybe cut down on the glare slightly, because you can see there's glare on this. I mean, it's a semi shiny object. There's some glare on there, so I may want to put some filters on there, just like some thin something that'll just diffuse the light a little bit. Not much, just a little bit, because I don't want to completely enclose these. They're not supposed to be completely enclosed. Though, I mean, they're not overly warm. They're much, much cooler than an incandescent bulb would be. I'm not burning my fingers by touching them. But that may be something I play with. I may never do it. I may never like it. Who knows? There you go, folks. This is the current stage for my lighting. I'm happy with the result, and I may actually do some reviews while I got this today when I got this rig set up, because it's kind of handy. And I hope that this is helpful, and kind of the behind-the-scenes look of how I do some of my videos. And hopefully in the future people will appreciate what goes into making some of my my review and figure videos.